There's a very famous question that the Tur asks about Sukkot. Why is Sukkot, which is here to resemble Yetziat Mitzrayim, leaving Egypt, and God taking us out of Egypt, why is it got nothing to do with the time when we were actually taken out, which is the month of Nisan, with the month where Pesach is in? The Tur answers, you want to know why? The Tur says the reason is because during the beginning of the summer, that's when people are starting to go outdoors. People are starting to pitch tents. People are starting to go camping. So then it wouldn't look like we were doing a mitzvah. It'll look like we're just being like everybody else. We're going out, time to camp. But right now, during the fall time, when people are starting to close up their tents, and people are starting to come back inside their houses, why are you going out? The reason is because we're doing God's commandment. We're doing God's mitzvah. We're keeping mitzvah of Sukkot. So it's very apparent, it's very noticeable. Oh, they're going out, it's cold, you have to go buy sweaters, you have to make sure you're going to be warm in the sukkah. The question though is, why does it fall directly 4 days after Yom Kippur? Why is it not between Rosh Hashanah and Kippur? Maybe a month later, when it's even colder. Why does it come out so close after Kippur? The Yaarot Devash explains. He says that it was very common, today it's a little less, that a person would go into exile after doing teshuvah. A person felt that he needed to go into exile because chas v'chalila, if there was a decree upon us from before, so now you could go ahead and say, okay, now I'm going to go to exile, and this way I'm gonna base it. It's a way of like saying I'm going to make my own punishment. Let me make my own punishment. It's my own decree, and it's taxing on the body, that torture to the body, that when a person has to travel and not sleep in the same city one night, more than one night, or more than 1 week, whatever it was, it's it's embarrassing, it's taxing, it's not easy, it's a hard life going into exile. That exile makes the sins go away, that torture to the body, those yisurim that a person brings upon himself by going into exile, they help the teshuvah. The Yaarot Devash says, now, after Yom Kippur, we just finished saying, and we're not going to do exile. We're not going to go to exile. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a built-in exile. We have a built-in exile. So the question is, so then why would we have to make the sukkah, the walls beautiful, hanging up pictures of Rabbanim, having all these decorative things that are going to make the sukkah so beautiful? What's the whole idea? Let it look like a real, what's it called? Why does the Gemara say a person has to be bringing the most beautiful kelim into the sukkah? It doesn't make any sense. Why is it beautiful? The Mishnah says if a person would put underneath the sechach, he would put something to prevent the leaves from falling down. Some sort of sheet, a cover under the entire sechach by the sukkah is pasul. However, if a person would take a nice, beautiful, decorated sheet and put it up there in order to beautify the sukkah, all of a sudden the sukkah is kasher. What's the difference? They're both a roof. They're both preventing. They're both going to be able to possibly prevent things from coming down. The question was asked to the Rashba, and the Rashba said that it's very normal that a person should have a design on his roof, a beautiful painting. If a person was living somewhere, would a person and there was a leak inside the house, would he put a little design there? He's not going to put a design there, he's going to get it fixed. If there's a leak, he's going to cover it up. Why? Because there's a problem with the roof. Says the Rashba, the Torah wants us to have a roof on Sukkot that's going to leak. If you put something there to prevent the leak, you're saying there's a problem with the roof. But if you're putting it there for decoration, you're not putting anything there to prevent the leak, you're putting it there for decoration purposes. So that's not a problem. We see how far decorating the Sukkah goes, that it's supposed to be so beautiful. What is the idea? If we borrow this idea of Galut, we know that our souls are in Galut. The source of our soul is in Shamayim, by Kisah Kavod of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And our souls are going to go back to Kisah Kavod. And a person is in this world for how long? 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, 120 years. Wow, this guy is world record. He's the oldest person alive. B'ezrat Hashem, we should all live long. So, we know that we're here. If we take a look, the Sukkah is just temporary. It's 7 days. We make it beautiful. We bring out the best dishes. Why? To remind us that it's like our lives. Sukkot, 7 days. And Chutz La'aretz, we spend an 8th day there. How many years? A person's life? 70 shana. V'im b'gvurot, 80 shana. 7 days, 8 days, every day resembles a decade of our lives, 10 years. What's the idea? The idea is, in this world, we're going to have a concept, we're going to have beautiful things. We're going to have beautiful sightseeings. We're going to have beautiful, beautiful stuff. But the same way we have to keep the Sukkah pure, we have to keep ourselves pure. The same way the Sukkah is temporary, so too life in this world is temporary. Even though it's so beautiful, even though it's so relaxing. It's so tempting for a person to want to venture and do things that are, you know, oh wow, look at this. But sometimes it could be crossing boundaries and going past the certain things, and we get carried away and think that this world is the ikal, is the main focus, when really this world is only a means to be able to get to the next world. Sukkot can resemble this to us. When a person goes out into the Sukkah and he beautifies it, and he has very lavish meals, the whole family is there, and you have beautiful pictures, and people have these different decorative things. What's the whole idea? The idea is to remind us of our world. Our world is beautiful, but it's only temporary. In 1 week we're going back inside. If a person takes this lesson, and that's why it's right after Yom Kippur, after we did Teshuvah, Rabotai, we're all going back into the whole year. Let's remember that our lives, it's a temporary life in this world. Let's live our life just like it's in the Sukkah. Have beautiful things, have beautiful stuff, but remember, it's exile. It's only for 1 week. Then you got to go back inside. Keep it pure. Keep it kadosh. Say divrei Torah. Sing the songs of the Sukkah. Make the Sukkah pure and holy, and let the Shekhinah that sits in the Sukkah, don't chase it away. Let the Sukkah surround us and purify us. And that's why it's right after Yom Kippur. To remind us, we just did Teshuvah. Let's remember what is the focus of our life. Our focus of our life is to build for the next world, because this world is only temporary.